Hello, everyone. Welcome to the finals of the Z2R Standard Tournament 2023. We have MiRai and chromataclysm in a best of 5 to determine the champion. For our commentary, we've got Drossi and we've got Elendar, and I will leave it to them.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. As mentioned, we are here. We are in the finals. No winner today, not for a while. We got a best of 5, and I'm hoping for all 5. What are you hoping for, Drossi?
I mean, with these runners, you kind of have to hope for that. It's such a good matchup here. 2 very long time, very strong runners. I don't think anyone's surprised to see either of them in the finals.
Yeah, MiRai, the winner of the Max Rando tournament, just previous to this, looking for his first standard win. Chroma looking to be only the second person to win 2 different standard tournaments. The only other player to do that, the Zelda 2 Randomizer All-Star Rose City Saint.
Who I believe is semi-retired at this point.
Yes, semi-retired with a giant pile of victories and trophies But no doubt these are 2 of the best players of the game right now, and not a surprise they've met up in the finals, so should be a really good one. Should be just a few minutes. Chrome is still getting set up here. Ovens are being preheated on MiRai's side.
Any particular biome you're hoping to see today in the overworld?
I'm hoping we can get some some Caldera DM. I was like when DM is required. It seems we've had a lot of unrequired DM seeds recently, but Caldera DM is always nice. Forces you to go through a few caves, interact with the game a little bit, but we'll see what's going on as we are off here. Chroma is sporting a very light blue Final Fantasy 1 fighter sprite.
I was trying to figure it out. It looks kind of like Final Fantasy, and I guess that's the raft tile right there to the west of North Palace.
Yeah, and a rock and boots blocked connection to a caldera, it looks like. I haven't seen that one before. It looks like the rock is just completely surrounded by water.
And we find Saria from the west for Chroma. I didn't catch what the spell is here in Rauru.
Yeah, that is the spell, but gonna need Bagu or Fairy or Boots to go get it.
Oh no, I meant what MiRai is about.
Sorry. Yeah, what's MiRai? I didn't catch what MiRai got. Fairy.
Fairy. Okay, that's a useful one.
Yeah, yep. It should be real good. It does put Palaces in the logic early, so we could get some early dips. I didn't catch whether it was castable.
It is not. It looked like 72 to me, so we'll need either a level or a magic jar.
Not too bad. Well, there's a magic jar.
Okay, problem solved if MiRai goes into that cave.
And I think he'll be there in just a couple more minutes. Sorry, maybe not even a couple minutes, as both runners are going to check everything they can find here in the west. Pretty tightly packed, it looks like.
And Ruto has fire. Is fire linked to anything in?
Yeah, we do. Settings? We do have a linked fire going on today. So
it could be a good value if it's linked to like thunder.
Yeah, if they get a trophy, I think they're pretty likely to go check it out. MiRai doing his usual, attempting to get a red iron knuckle and see what they're worth, but also as usual, he's getting several red jars in a row.
Is this 3 or 6?
Good question.
Well, 100 is pretty vanilla, is it not?
Yeah, that is exactly vanilla. And MiRai in his race yesterday, I think he got 2 red jars, then got the iron knuckle, then died against the iron knuckle, then got 3 more red jars. Oh, and here's a fun one. We got a magic container cave with questionable enemies. Okay, actually just a really easy enemy set. 2 bouncy cats, though. 1 already down.
And MiRai taking 2 levels of life already. There's the medicine for when we find Mito.
Unfortunately, Mito probably on the other side of the caldera. They're not going to be able to get downstab anytime soon.
Depends if they find the boots.
Yeah, well, the boots just lead to another hammer block.
Oh, right. You said about double blocked.
Yep, so they're also going to need to find the
but
hammer, but
oh, right. Once they get fairy and enough magic to make it castable, they can cross Saria.
yeah, and get the spell there. MiRai finding Heart Container Cave. We're going to see what's in here. If this is the hammer, then it's just going to be a pretty silly early start. MiRai got 1 magic level.
Fairy's he got a second one now. I was gonna say Fairy was nice. It was 69, but now it's
he checked it as soon as he could because he wanted it to be castable. Wasn't castable on Magic 2, decided to take the extra magic level instead of attack, and then immediately getting punished by finding a jar. He didn't need that magic level. Meanwhile, Chroma is in this 3 or 6. He's willing to dig out whatever this is, and there's a solid chance that this is going to be either a hammer or a raft or some way out of this position they're in right now.
That is an annoying place for a flame to be. Just saying.
Yeah, right on the edge of the cliff. There's a couple different ways to clear it without getting hit, but none of them are quick.
Okay, so now MiRai can ferry across Saria, and we can see what's north of there.
It didn't look like there was too much out there.
So do you think it's going to be the dungeon prize in 3 or 6, whatever Chroma's in?
I think at this point, I think at this point, this 3 or 6 is going to be our progression.
Oh, well, the bot in Saria just told us Bagu's location. That doesn't really help once we have Fairy.
Yep. Yeah, that bot, because of a bug dating back to 4.0 that we recently... Oh, never mind. Chroma, apparently there's this... MiRai had gone into this cave before. He must have just left immediately. Apparently you could just get to the east via this cave.
Hello,
I
Death
see.
Mountain type connector to the east.
MiRai probably looked at it, immediately saw that it was mountainous east, and decided, yeah, I don't want to do that. Well, too bad at this point. We'll see if MiRai decides to go back in the palace, or he too decides to take a trip to this fabulous mountainous east.
Here's Old Kasuto and, Vanilla Thunder. And we don't have magic jar requirements for it, do we?
Nope, no magic jar requirements here. Is Thunder castable? It is. Only 66, actually pretty cheap for Magic 3.
That's not bad at Magic 3.
So MiRai is going to check out the palace. Chroma found one route was hammer block or glove blocked, but who knows about this path to the left at the start. Looks like MiRai, though, is going to take the same route as Chroma and find the same disappointment. And MiRai making that jump over the flame look easy. It is not.
Oh, there's the hammer.
Okay, so that puts...
That's on the east.
Yeah, the rest of the west into logic for Chroma. So he's got a lot of things open to him. He could have up-A'd there and decided to check the rest of the west, but he's going to stay on the east and see what he can find here. We'll see. This path going right could just lead into the coast. No, okay. There's a palace and our old friend, the River Devil.
MiRai going very slowly across this bridge because he does not want to go into the drink. He had Fairy lined up. And there's GP sitting in the middle of a swamp.
Yeah, at attack 2, getting past some of those enemies in the bridge can be tricky. Helmet head guards on Magic Jar, and 5 containers is enough for the basement.
That's lucky, though. Chroma never picked up Spell, so he can't check Spell Tower.
Nope. And he's just going to be hoping that's not a glove or boots or some other required item. But he is going to pick up the spell here.
I have to imagine MiRai will go east soon enough.
Chroma maybe for forgetting that he already got a hint in this town. There can only be 1 hint per town, so that chimney not going to be very useful.
Oh, reflect. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so that's all the required spells for Chroma, and he's gonna up A and do the rest of the West. I think he wants down stab. And he's got to do the palaces and whatnot. I guess, sorry, he can't do the rest of the West. He still doesn't have boots. Oh, he didn't have spell before, and now regrets having not picked it up.
I guess he wants it, and he wants to go back and check spell tower.
Yeah, I mean, that's safe. That's a very safe way to route. Meanwhile, MiRai doing a little bit more extensive exploration here in this 3 or 6 than Chroma did, and not getting much for it.
If nothing else, he's certainly grinding out some levels. Oh, and here's the boss.
Yep, I am.
And it is Rebo, so guess it's 3.
Yeah, 2, 4, 3 Rebo with no safety is going to be a bit tricky.
And no downstab even. I mean, and it's a beefy Rebo. Look at how many hits it took just to take his health down the first bar.
Yeah, beefy Rebo with attack 2 is gonna take a bit, but MiRai is practiced at this.
MiRai will just grind things out at low attack.
He's gonna be careful though, because he is 1 hit away from death.
Yeah, and no life spell. Ooh, so close.
Yeah, and Chroma also going back into this 3. He's got more in the East to explore, but he's just determined to clear this out while he's here. He's maybe going to be a little higher than MiRai. I bet he could pick up attack 3 if he wanted before this boss, but...
Well, it was MiRai's decision to take magic 4, not attack 3.
Yeah, I mean, it's sensible since he still only has 1 cast of Fairy. He's looking to get 2 casts of Fairy. Magic 4, Fairy has a big drop at Magic 5 usually. So Magic 4 not that likely to give you a
Fairy's
second
already
cast.
down to 41, which is pretty close to the vanilla max out of 40. I know sometimes spells can be very good bargains in this game.
Yeah, especially because a big part of that is because costs can't go up. So while a cost can roll above or below its vanilla cost, once you get your new level, that new level can't be more expensive than the previous one. And interesting, red jars pick up from the boss.
Yeah, and he chooses to take health over life.
Yeah, he's gonna get the double level here.
Chroma also at... Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, Chroma also at 2 attack here and very little life, so he does not have much margin.
Yeah, he went straight left at the connector and found his way to the boss immediately. Though there were those 2 red iron knuckles right at the bottom of the other 3 red iron knuckles. So he could have picked up attack if he decided to grind a little bit, but just going to do it at attack 2 and going to be in a similar position to MiRai, life 3, 5 bars instead of life 4 and 4. Well, I guess MiRai also had life 3 at the time.
Now MiRai's finally taking that trip to the east.
Yeah, and he's going to be able to get everything from Nukasudo all at once, so that should put him a little bit ahead of Chroma overall, but pretty close regardless.
Ooh, Chroma takes a death to Rebo there.
Yeah, and he's not happy about it. He was 1 or 2 hits away.
I mean, so was MiRai. It is a tough fight on attack 2 and you go in not even on full health.
Yeah, speaking of tough fights, MiRai getting all double hits to kill that Moa in midair.
That was persistent.
But he'll get his Thunder spell and shortly his Reflect spell as well, and we'll get a Spell Tower sighting.
Chroma is not in good shape again. He's down to 2 life bars and hasn't even unhorsed Rebo. Okay. I think he can take 1 hit.
Yeah, that extra container coming in handy here.
Ooh, yep, that's the 1 hit, and he still has to give 4 more to Rebo. And that's the hammer from MiRai, was it?
Yeah, we still don't know whether flute's required in this flag set. We do, if there is a three-eyed rocket, we'll always have a palace underneath it, but we've only seen one palace in the east so far, so unknown whether flute's going to be required. Glove going to be required 99% of the time.
And there's the River Devil. We don't know if it's blocking anything, though.
Yeah, it definitely could be. And then also, it's possible we could still require a raft if that's how we get to the maze. But Glove
we saw the
definitely
raft
will be
tile
required.
immediately to the left of start. Oh,
Yeah.
River Devil is not blocking anything.
Okay.
Go right around.
So we're just a three-eyed rock potential. Oh, MiRai fighting this desert tile all the way in the southeast, and there's boots. Okay.
That's a nice find. Now we can go back and see what that boot and hammer blocked cave in the west is.
Yeah, that almost certainly leads into a caldera leading to the other half of the west. That's always a reasonable thing. If you're feeling like you're not happy in this east, you're only an up and A away from going and clearing the rest of the palaces on the far side of the west, getting down stab.
Also, MiRai has not made it to New Kasuto yet.
And now he has. No, this is Darunia.
Nope. Darunia has jump. We do not have the child.
Yeah, he could get upstab right away, but he's probably going to want to come back there with child. I know MiRai's a pretty big fan of the jump spell. But we'll see if the child is easily accessible or not.
So we found two palaces here already, and we have Valley of Death. So if Valley of Death leads to a third palace, flute isn't required.
Yeah, we have fully ruled out flute with the discovery of this P5.
And here's Rising P-Bag. Haven't seen this one yet.
Yeah, MiRai is wary of coconuts and indeed gets bopped by one.
Oof.
But Thunderspell, ooh.
Yikes.
Thunderspell cleared the way, but not into whatever killed him there. This is the scariest cave in the dark, by far.
And Chroma gives us our first look at Spell Tower, which today is housing the cross. You take it.
Yeah, and it's worth picking up, but definitely not what he's looking for. That's what he's looking for. It's
okay,
love.
So we may be in go mode for MiRai.
Yeah, we're just knowledge of the maze away from go mode.
Actually, he hasn't pulled Reflect yet, has he?
Yeah, that's in
New Kasuto.
Which he should be fairly close to, based on where he's at on the map. Yeah, MiRai thinking about P5, thinking better of it. Ooh, gonna get some free XP here.
Ooh, and another P-Bag drop.
Free life
Health
5.
5.
Yeah, MiRai is probably gonna do his usual get 5, 5, 6 and start burning gems approach. I'm very unhappy about having accidentally walked into that encounter twice.
And here's Naburu, which we have not yet seen, but just has shield.
Yeah,
so,
a little surprised MiRai managed
process
to
of
make
elimination, Mito has life.
Yeah, a little surprised MiRai managed to make his way all the way up here without finding New Kasuto. I'm a little curious where exactly it is now, because Chroma basically just went straight north and found it. But MiRai is going to pick up shield. We're going west to find the child. Okay. And yeah, Chroma is going to pick up upstab while he's here. He already did pick up upstab while he's there. I haven't paid attention here. Is Chroma going to do P5 now? I don't blame him. The answer is no. Yeah, partially going into P5 without a glove is scary. There's a lot of room. There's a lot of possibility for a block. And partially, only being at 3-4-3 is not the safest. Ooh, interesting. MiRai has cast Shield and is now shooting fire from his sword. So fire shield confirmed. It's a little unfortunate in that you're not going to get a better spell from your Firelink, but just having the effect of fire for relatively low cost along with shield is a good 1-2 punch for making combat easier. Yeah, MiRai has found his way all the way to the northeast and somehow still has not found Nukasudo.
And as we know, he will need to get there, if only for the reflect.
Yeah.
Though the heart container's pretty nice, too. We have not seen any other heart containers.
MiRai gonna get a water tile check. Sure he's hoping for some life or magic, and he gets it.
Yep, vanilla heart container there.
Any key would be pretty welcome at this point as well.
I think more magic would be pretty nice.
Yeah, anything to get past this one cast of fairy per life.
Oh. What'll it take for MiRai to find Nukasudo? I assume it's under a forest tile.
Yeah, I don't remember if it was or not. I think it's hard to say. If MiRai explores all of this western section and doesn't find it, which is what's going to happen, I kind of suspect that he's just going to take an up A and then clear out the west and then come back here when he decides to do palaces and find it then, because it's probably faster at this point if you want to get to the beginning part of the east to up A and just go through again than it is to walk all the way back. Okay, and so MiRai and Chroma high-fiving here. This pass...
Though MiRai trying to do an encounter skip.
Yeah, this pass-through cave apparently just leading right back to the beginning where Chroma had been, so this might actually take MiRai pretty close to Nukasudo, if I'm correct here. Ooh, free thunder.
And still won't take down Lizalfos.
Yeah, and a low roll on the Lizalfos, only 200. Is that low roll? No, that's
right?
vanilla. That's vanilla, yeah.
MiRai thinking. Come on, you just need to hammer a forest patch.
Yeah, I think he's thinking about, does he want to... yeah, he's thinking about whether he wants to up A, whether he wants to go into Valley of Death. I don't blame him. I really like this play because you need to do the far end of this west at some point anyway, and you might as well get downstab. Oh, never mind. The grass tile and Mito were just hiding on the other side of this river here, right at the start.
Convenient. Maybe we'll even pull life while we're at it.
Yeah, I don't know if he will.
Oh, cross in the east, well, we know that from Chroma, though MiRai doesn't know that.
Yeah, and, well, I think that might be very helpful for MiRai at this point, because the only locations he has left on the east are, I guess they're both in Nukasudo, so... Right, he's got
Stonehenge just has a 1-up today.
Yeah, but yeah, there's downstab and P4 here. What is on the eastern end of this west? If this is a caldera, there's going to be one more palace in the caldera, and then like that's it, right? I think we found almost every location on the west.
And MiRai just completely passed up the life spell.
Yeah, I don't blame him. He does not like to get life, especially when he already has shield. Just he'd rather not get hit, as he puts it. So that's one of those gambles that saves you, I don't know, maybe 20 seconds or something like that. But when you're up against Chroma, you probably feel like you need to take some gambles.
And there's our second magic jar, so Fairy, we can finally get 2 casts from it.
Yeah.
Also, Chroma pulling life.
Yeah, unfortunately for MiRai, he's not going to be able to do P4 while he's here.
Yeah,
And
gotta get to New Gasudo.
Yeah, MiRai getting confirmation that is a caldera on the other side of that cave, but it doesn't look like he's going to go there. It looks like he's going back to the east.
And just a reminder, this is the best of 5, so...
Yeah, we got plenty of races still to come.
Yeah, whoever doesn't win today still is by no means out.
Yeah, and MiRai is man, he's confused. He went back to the east.
He
thinking,
hammered
Yeah, that
grass, but it wasn't New Gasudo.
Yeah, that tile shouldn't be possible to be New Gasudo. The New Gasudo tile should have no other forest on all 8 sides around it. But he just wanted to check it because
I didn't realize it couldn't even touch diagonally.
Yeah, it can't even touch diagonally. There are some very, very rare exceptions involving like the sides of calderas and stuff can sometimes cause weird clipping. They're not supposed to, but they can.
So,
yeah, okay.
P2 is what's behind the hammer and the boots for that pass-through cave.
Yeah, and P2's, a little unfortunate because we do know that there is not a useful item here, just a jar.
We get Doom Knockers in P2. I'm never clear on like how the enemy pool works.
Yeah, the enemy pool. So every enemy that gets placed into a palace room has a certain ID associated with it, but those numbers can mean different things in different palace sets. So Doom Knockers, since they can only appear in palaces 1, 2, and 5, which is the first set of palaces, if they appear in palaces 3, 4, or 6, they will be the hammer throwing little mini Goomas instead.
I think that's backwards, that Doom Knockers can usually only appear in 3, 4, and 6.
Pretty sure that's how it works in vanilla. I'm not entirely sure. It's been a very long time since I played vanilla.
And what palace is this for Chroma? I didn't even notice.
I think this is P4.
Oh, okay. Makes sense since he has
Yeah, I think he just finished doing everything on the west end. He might as well do P4 while he's here, because he has Reflect. MiRai without Reflect gonna have to do a little bit of backtracking later. Yeah, MiRai having to take a death even with 2 casts of Fairy. He had a key block and then that Fairy or Glove block room.
No, I was thinking it might be the boss chamber, but no. Try to jackhammer. Oh, we're gonna try. It's still not enough hits at attack 3.
Yeah, attack 3 not looking particularly strong.
Maybe we want to take another attack level?
Oh, never mind. Yeah, confirmation. This is P6 for MiRai.
Oh, okay.
Okay, not P2. That explains the Doom Knockers.
Yeah, that makes... But of course, we didn't see the windows, and the statue just gave a magic.
Yeah, MiRai getting a little bit bodied. He had an enemy drain a bit of his magic, so he only had 1 cast of Fairy. And so he's going to be on his last life. And who knows how much longer this P6 is going to be.
And meanwhile, Chroma finds the good old drop in P4 that...
Is that... Oh, no. I'm a little surprised.
Did it just drop to itself or something?
Yeah, it looked like it looped, but it's possible that's just a duplicate of the same room. If I were Chroma, I would have probably dropped one more time just to make sure.
So there is a 1-up just up this elevator if MiRai wants to pull it. But it doesn't seem like he does. You'd have to use a fairy cast.
Okay, so Chroma took the drop at the beginning, found out that it connected back to where he was before, and yeah, it is 2 duplicate copies of that room. And the second one is a dead end, so he's going to need to go back and drop some more.
Ooh, and there's MiRai's last death. Guess he should have taken that 1-up.
Yeah, and he is out. He's going to go all the way through the caldera and check out the far end of the west, which is going to contain not very much, but you do have to check it because it's possible that this could be a connection to the maze. As Chroma continued dropping, finds another drop room. I believe
orange Dyras are 150 today. That's pretty nice.
It is. I believe 5 rooms is the maximum length of a drop column. I don't remember exactly whether it's 5 or 6, but it was a long one.
Hey, and there's an actual key. We haven't really seen many of those.
Yeah, it's certainly handy. Of course, if the seed gives you a key, it's immediately going to take it away. Ooh, and worth noting, this is a drop exit room, so...
Gives you a fairy cast.
Decent chance this room Chroma is in right now is where that big drop column leads to, anyway.
Oh, okay, he still has 2 lives left. No problem, this is fine.
Meanwhile, on the far end of the west, MiRai has found Medicine Cave. Okay, any key is a good pickup.
That's a nice find. That'll save him a lot of fairy casts.
Certainly resolve some of his fairy casting issues in that P6 if he decides to go back. Okay, Chroma doesn't have enough for fairy here, but Chroma is... Okay, I was going to wonder if Chroma was going to drop down to use his glove, or it is possible to... down stab bounce across these enemies, but it is extremely tricky.
And hey, MiRai found the connector to Death Mountain.
That's not where he was hoping that connector. Meanwhile, Chroma has found the item room here in P4. It's a candle.
Another thing you're not going to say no to, even if you're not particularly looking for it.
Yeah, I think he's looking forward a little bit more to the level up from this enemy and then up-Aing out of here.
Attack 4, wow.
Oh no, he's just going to walk it off. Nope, he is going to up-A. Okay, I thought he was going to up-A. Yeah, so maybe this is the full drop column. MiRai getting the prophesied child in the west in the last of the western locations.
Don't think he really wants the jump spell.
Yeah, I mean...
I guess it could be useful in GP. He still haven't grabbed up stab.
Yeah, he still hasn't grabbed up stab, so he's going to need to go. All right, so Chroma going all the way down the drop column.
That's a lot of drops.
Okay, so it is not into that drop exit room we saw before. This is going to be a new path for Chroma, and I'm pretty sure he's checked all of the other paths, so hopefully a boss soon for him. Instead, more junctions. Wow!
Big palace!
What is this palace for? He's thinking of... Does he want to take one of these lefts? He's going to take this right. And it's the correct call.
today.
That's the lowest life Karok I've ever seen. Yep, and Chroma 2 gonna push for Magic 5 over Life 5.
And MiRai, it looks like he's trying to grind out attack 4 at this point.
Yeah, not having good luck of it, though. It looks like he's just gonna walk back to P6, get attack 4 on the way.
Yeah, well, with those orange dyers make it a bit easier.
Yeah, for sure. 150 points apiece, though. That one looks like it might be giving him a discount. He doesn't even care. He's going to up A at the Palace. He doesn't need any more experience.
He got the level he wanted. That's the important thing. And Chroma is finally finding this pass-through cave that'll get him to P6.
Yeah, and he's not going to need to go to the far side. He is fully in go mode at this point. Oh, sorry, we still don't know about the raft. That's always the concern.
Right, we haven't seen Maze Island yet.
Yeah, we still have an outstanding cave connection, and that could potentially lead us to Maze Island, though at this point that cave would have to be in Death Mountain, so ew. And also possible that we could just be riding the raft. I think the real trolley option that we're all hoping for, I'm sure, raft in P6. Okay, yeah, Chroma did not take Magic 5. Gonna hold on all the way to attack 5. At 6 bars, that's decently reasonable. Chroma trying to set up the magic pixel here to get past the Iron Knuckle. He does do it.
Impressive.
That's very difficult. As the name would suggest, pixel perfect trick.
Now MiRai picks that one up.
Yeah, and he's got quite a bit more knowledge about the structure of this P6 than Chroma does at this point, so hopefully we'll see him find a boss soon. And then potentially when MiRai does get Reflect, he could save a lot of time in P4. I don't know if that's likely. I don't know what kind of madness is going to be in store for him, because if you just dropped all the way to the bottom immediately in P4, you could have saved at least 5 or 6 minutes on Chroma's routing. But is that the thing anyone's going to do? I don't know.
P6 just goes on and
on. Have we seen 2 caves, Coper? I know we've seen the one cave between the west and the east. Sorry, I'm referring specifically to the...
Hey, and we have a heart container, which is kind of nice since we haven't seen too many of them.
Yeah, I mean, certainly nice. Has still got P5 outstanding, still got GP ahead of us.
Taking fewer deaths is always nice.
Yeah, meanwhile, finding more of P6, not quite so nice.
No, still no sign of Barba. Oh, I haven't seen this community room before, I don't think.
Yeah, that's a fun one. Sometimes those strippers can be extremely cruel if they drop, like, Iron Knuckles or something like that. But not too bad. Right now, the thing that makes that room easy is, or easier, is just keep your momentum and keep going. And okay, MiRai has found the way. And
okay, relatively weak Barba too.
Yeah, it looks like you just needed to go down the first elevator at the start and then right.
That was a scary jackhammer.
Oh yeah,
I don't know how he survived that.
MiRai has been doing just insane jackhammers, jumpless jackhammers, all sorts of ridiculous things, and he's been practicing a lot. So it's been pretty successful for him, and even in his non-jackhammers, you notice like even he's getting a right hit spawn, and they get like 6 and 7 hit cycles on a left is crazy.
This should do it.
Yeah, he's being a little more careful here at the end when he's only a couple hits away. He doesn't want to fall into the lava. Oh, Chroma got the item there, and I missed what it is. Although, did MiRai already see that item? I don't remember.
The item was a heart container.
Okay, yeah, MiRai did find that one. Okay, so Chroma is on the way as well. This is the path. So, unfortunately, MiRai's earlier time in here, not saving him very much time. And, yeah, it looks like MiRai has determined Death Mountain is where he wants to go next.
Have we seen the other entrance to Death Mountain? Or could that potentially get us to Maze Island?
I don't believe. I believe there is still one continent connector cave we have not seen, because we saw the one from west to the east.
And then, of course, there's the raft tile right by the start.
Right, but there could be a raft in Death Mountain. I think MiRai probably at this point suspects that he is behind.
This is not Death Mountain.
Yeah, this cave leads to the east half of the west, which leads to the bridge, which leads to Death Mountain.
Got it. He's
just on his way. Yeah, I think MiRai at this point probably correctly suspects that he is behind, and is down for a gamble, and Death Mountain's a pretty reasonable one.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing is just he hasn't found New Kasuto and therefore hasn't found Reflect.
Okay, so chat reporting what I had missed. Apparently, the runners did find a cave that leads to an immediate dead end that I had missed. So, that being the case, raft 100% required. And no easily accessible items here in Death Mountain. MiRai was going up and down the coast with his boots, trying to check to see if there were any.
Oh, there's Spec Rock. We can see it.
Yeah, that doesn't necessarily help the situation. MiRai is going to backtrack to try and find which cave leads to that rock. Meanwhile, this is Chroma's first trip to the east side of the west.
Maybe this one is lined up well to potentially lead there. Oh, right. MiRai still hasn't gotten that candle because that was in P4.
Yeah. These Death Mountain caves, though, at 6 bars of life 6, MiRai should have no problem doing the combat. Okay, does make the backtrack successfully to the rock.
The trophy, yay.
That's not a raft.
Does 0 for us. So now our only hope here is if we find Hammer Cave.
Yeah, and man, who knows where that is. And Chroma also taking a look up and down the coast and finding, yep, no obvious Hammer Cave or rock hanging out here. We'll see if he wants to keep digging or go into some palaces. Yeah, and he's going to just back out and go to some palaces. Or he still hasn't checked the rest of these item caves in the west, so it makes sense for him to at least do these and make sure that it isn't in some, easy, obvious spot before going to the less obvious DM spots. We'll see which way MiRai decides is going to be the right way here. It's not going to be that one.
Decisions.
Yeah, I think he either has to take this cave that he's in right now, or that cave all the way in the far north end. But the one all the way on the north end pointing north, it's possible that is the buggy 4-way connector. There's the 4 caves that connect to each other. There's 2 sets of 4, and we did find a bug fairly recently that 25% of the time, one of those caves is facing north-south and west. It's facing north-south and it's west of where it should be, which is a very weird thing. But MiRai is aware of that bug, so... Oh, this has got to be it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it was facing north and there was nothing to the north.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be it. And MiRai, pretty smart DM traversal, finds his way through without too much being trolled. And he's really hoping this is going to be a raft. If this is a raft, MiRai has caught up quite a bit. If it is not a raft and the raft is hanging out in one of these palaces, then Chroma's palace lead is going to be a pretty big advantage.
MiRai takes an intentional death to refill his life and magic here.
Yep, he doesn't want to.
Across, okay.
Yeah, he doesn't want to risk getting bopped in. He doesn't want to risk anything spooky. He's gonna cast fairy in both of these rooms and disregard any danger.
A moment of truth here.
Oh no!
It is the very useless flute.
Yep, that is the worst possible item. And MiRai is he's just going to go back east. And good news, he's almost certainly going to find New Kasuto on the way. Bad news, he's not going to find the raft. And man, who knows where the raft is at this point? It's got to be in a palace at this point, right?
Wait,
we've checked
we never
everywhere
got the
else.
item out of P3, did we?
I don't believe we did.
So he's back in P3 looking for the item. Looks like they're both doing that.
I think Chroma just found the item in P3.
Oh, okay.
I know MiRai hadn't.
Oh, it's just a P bag,
Yeah,
okay.
It's not.
Unfortunately, that's going to be a bit of a waste of time here.
Yeah, now that Chroma's gotten the item, not really sure why he's here.
Yeah, I mean, I remember him beating Rebo. Okay.
And he's not sure why he's here either.
realized.
He's out. Good check. P3 is one of the shorter palaces. But yeah, he's out. He's going to find, I don't know, one of these other palaces. Could be P5 at this point, I think, is a likely next target. That can happen sometimes. You're just in a palace a little beyond where you need to because you're just putting everything together in your brain and being like, man, where on earth is this raft? It's got to be somewhere. We still haven't checked the palace in the Valley of Death. As MiRai also finds his P-bag and up-A's. We still haven't checked P5. And we know P2 doesn't have the item, so that's it. It's going to be one is in the Valley of Death, P5, and one of those is going to contain our raft. Oh, I guess this could be... Yeah, this is P5. Yeah, P2 is on the maze. Well, I guess P1 or P2 could be in the Valley of Death, yeah. Okay, MiRai gonna use...
You got it, might as well use it.
But it's a shortcut.
He still hasn't found New Kasuto, though.
He has now.
Oh, okay, phew.
And he's
probably wondering why he didn't come here sooner.
He's gonna be very upset about this. It was right here the whole time. He just didn't walk far enough east, it looks like. And he's gonna be even more upset that there is no raft here.
Though he does need that reflect spell, so it's not a total waste.
Yeah, and also good news, he's fairly close to P5, which he'll be able to check right after this, and, you know, solid chance there's a raft hanging out there. Unfortunately, it's P5, and digging through P5 for both the boss and the items sometimes takes a while.
But yeah, Chroma has a definite edge here. He's covered more, so he's more likely to hit the raft just because he's running out of places.
Yeah, well, at this point, the only places that MiRai has checked that Chroma hasn't is Death Mountain. And while that was a good possibility to give MiRai a lead, we know that that's useless. So unless the raft is in the palace in the Valley of Death, and Chroma decides to up A and do Death Mountain after this, Chroma's going to remain pretty solidly in the lead, pretty much regardless of where the raft is. Yeah, MiRai not interested in the cross, apparently. And he's going to see this GP. He's going to probably head up north, and he's going to spot P5. Unless he decides to do Valley of Death here. That's a good gamble.
Okay, we haven't seen this yet.
Okay, here we go.
Got a 1-up.
Is it going to be in P5, or is it going to
Nice
be
fairy
in
feat.
this palace? It's a very quick fairy feats.
I assume this is going to be P1 here, though. I guess we don't know. This is either P1 or P2, and the other one is on Maze Island.
Yeah. So Chroma
My
has...
gut tells me this will be P1.
Yeah, I think so, but hard to say for sure. Well, no, we know either the raft is in P5 or this is P1, because we know P2 can't contain an item. P2 just has a jar. And Chroma now...
MiRai seems to be having some trouble with his controller or something.
Yeah, his first two fairy
gestured
feats
with
were
his
really
controller
clean,
there.
and this one, not so much.
There we go.
But yeah, if this is P2, the raft is definitely in P5. It is not P2, it is P1. So, anyone's game, where is the raft?
And P1 is nice and small.
Yes.
The other.
It does have the
Positive.
disadvantage of being at the end of a long valley, but still probably faster than digging an item out of P5.
Oh, and I guess I missed Chroma picking up the any key.
That's nice. Oh yeah, he did do those west checks. All right, here we go. Here's the item. Is this the raft? It is!
Wow! Okay. We're in business here.
Okay, so every second now that Chroma spends in this P5 digging for an item that is not the raft is a second MiRai is catching up.
Yeah, he's still behind. I mean, he's only placed 2 gems, but...
Sure.
Yeah,
but
right.
Chroma could be in this P5 for another 5 or 10 minutes. P5
And we don't
could
know
be...
when he'll do the Valley of Death.
Yeah. Well, I
guess,
suspect
right.
he's gonna do
Yeah,
the Valley of
he
Death
has to
immediately
because
next,
he's
yeah.
out of palaces.
Yeah, his only options after P5 will be go to the Valley of Death or up and go to Death Mountain. And if he didn't want to do Death Mountain the first time he was there, I don't think he's going to want to do it now. It's one of those things where he has fully determined, well, if the raft is going to be at Death Mountain, I'm going to lose this race because I just don't want to go there.
Sometimes that's how you do things. And in this case, that'll pay off. Death Mountain, we saw, was a complete waste. I mean, I guess we have an extra... No, we don't even have an extra life or magic jar out of it. Can't remember what we got besides the flute.
I think we got the kid was in the west. I don't remember what the other item was.
Oh, the trophy.
Oh, the trophy. Okay, that's useless. Well, there's a chance MiRai will pick up Jump Spell instead of Upstab while he's there. MiRai is proficient at the Upstab block skip. And so, aside from the one room that prevents you from doing that, you can use Jump Spell instead of Upstab for bypassing those rooms.
And we have finally found Horsehead.
And that is a beefy horse head.
Yeah, well, and maybe someday MiRai will get attack 5.
Yeah, MiRai, like 10 hits, he was getting double hits in there, and Horse just refusing to go down without a fight. Okay, so MiRai here, probably going to up A rather than go back through the valley. I might be wrong, but...
I don't know why you would go back through the valley.
Going back through the valley puts you a little closer to P5, but...
I think he wants to go to Maze Island.
Well, he's got to go to P... He still needs to do P5. He still needs to do P4 at some point.
Okay, he's not doing Maze Island.
Yeah, I think what he's likely to do is do everything but P5, and then since P5 is right next to GP, he can do P5 into GP at the end without spending very much time.
Now, let's see if he just does all the drop-downs here.
Yeah, if he just drops all the way down to the bottom right at the start, then he is going to be catching up a lot. He is not, which is not surprising. Yeah, meanwhile, Chroma still in P5, and this is P5 doing P5 stuff.
P5 big.
Yeah, it is the largest palace.
Well, except for GP.
Yeah, except for... yeah, so I think it's typically shorter than GP in shortened GP flags.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I just realized that these are shortened GP settings.
Okay.
Oh, wow. And MiRai found a different route to Karok. Interesting.
Yeah, well, so Chroma went all the way down the drop, then went left into a T-junction room that led to this boss. It looks like MiRai took a right somewhere that led into the other end of that T-junction room, and wow, this is going to catch him up quite a lot, because Chroma was in this palace for at least a good 5 minutes, but Chroma is going to find his item room, and
and immediately up A's.
Yeah, he is not happy to find that.
But we are even on gems now for the first time in quite a while.
Yeah, MiRai, with his correct guess of P1 over P5 and his quick handling of P4, has made this into a pretty close race. P5 and P2 probably going to be a little longer than P1 and P2, but I didn't feel like Chroma spent too long in P5 before he found the boss, and wow, this P2 is nothing.
Wow, was there even a P2? It feels like we walked into it and there was Helmet Head.
Yeah, well, this is not going to be an advantage for either player. Chroma's going to almost certainly come in and take exactly the same route.
And Chroma doing very well with the fairy feat there, getting to P1.
Yep, and as expected, MiRai at 556 sees no reason to place any more gems. Just gonna immediately burn them, save his 10 to 15 seconds or whatever it saves.
Typical MiRai.
I mean, when you're up against Chroma, again, these little, like, 10, 15-second time saves, they all count.
So, for whatever it's worth, Chroma has one more magic level and did take upstab. So, if we get a hard upstab locked room in GP, that could make a difference.
Yeah, and MiRai is going to have to go back to Darunia at some point. It's very likely it's going to be now, and either get jump or upstab, if not both. Interesting. Chroma took a different path and got to Horsehead much quicker without finding the item.
And what do you know? At Attack 5, Horsehead was a joke, so big difference between Attack 4 and Attack 5.
Yeah. But Chroma's going to have to go back here. He has killed the horse, but he does not have a raft.
And I think he knows it.
Yep, he's just going to go in and out to let his experience keep rolling while he goes. He is going to go to 5, 6, 7.
So clock's kind of ticking on both runners. What happens first? Chroma finds the raft or MiRai finds Guma?
I'm gonna bet Chroma finds the raft, given that this is the item room, but...
Oh. That would do it. Yes, okay.
Yeah, but...
So go mode for Chroma.
Okay. Chroma is saving his game so he can blow on his cartridge to try and fix some of these graphical issues he's having. A reasonable approach. And he is now going to sail his canoe off into this mountain, or into the maze.
And as we know, P2 is very short, so Chroma will almost certainly be in GP first.
that's a great note, Aaron. I had not watched. Chroma had been practicing for the past few days. He did a marathon run of 131 any percent.
131 sounds extremely painful.
It is extremely difficult, and Chroma managed to get the world record in it. So, just a testament to how good his combat is, as he's going to be heading into GP fairly shortly, as MiRai still looking for Guma. And this is a big question mark, right? Like, Chroma found Guma without taking too long, but man, who knows where that is? I certainly don't remember any of the layout of this 5.
It always mystifies me, like, how runners decide which way to go at any junction in a dungeon.
Yeah, there are some things that can help. Sort of the route, if you want to be fastest on average, is you always check elevators if you can see them, just because it's so quick to check another screen. Also, every palace's boss is equally likely to be up, down, or right. That's determined before the palace is generated. It will always be exactly 1/3. And so checking elevators just makes sense because the boss is 2/3 likely to be on an elevator. And so if you see an elevator, you want to check all the way up and down it as much as you can. The other thing that you'll see occasionally is when you do go up or down an elevator, whether you go back to the previous screen or keep going is usually determined by how far to the right you get spit out on. If the elevator puts you all the way on the left side of a room, then you have to walk across 4 screens to get to the exit. But if the elevator puts you like on the right side or in the middle of a room, it could be faster to check another room from the top of that elevator instead of going back down and going to the previous room. But Chroma in GP, MiRai just having a time in this P5. I don't know. I don't have any idea where the boss is in here.
Search me. Feels like we've been through here before. I mean, he did up A, so we have to kind of repeat some places.
Chroma go up an elevator, taking a left here, and immediately punished for his decision. Chroma, maybe in a gambling mood here. Maybe just thinking of trying some stuff out.
And we see the requisite spicy chicken. 200, that's pretty nice. Not that we're really going to try to grind out levels in GP, but...
Yeah, I don't think it's very likely. He would need another 20, 30...
Oh, and here's T-Bird.
Even if T-Bird's 1,000, he'll still need another 2,000 before another level is available, and seems unlikely. Okay, given how many forks Chroma has seen up to this point, this T-Bird is a pretty good find. It's going to cut off some of those paths behind him.
So this is T-Bird required?
Yeah, T-Bird is required for this flag set.
That was a super clean kill, too.
Yeah, well, attack 6 really helps as well. And since Chroma, practicing an attack 1, you get pretty good.
I should look up. What does it take? Like 128 hits to do T-Bird at attack 1?
I don't know. It's a lot. Attack 1 in vanilla does 2 damage per hit.
Well, here we go with Dark Link.
Wow, this was a fast GP.
Chat says 96, not 128. But anyway, Chroma's got 4 bars of life, so even if he misses a couple of hits, he should be fine here. As
Yeah,
Mirai finds Guma.
MiRai has found Guma, but unfortunately, even though GP only a couple of minutes long, he's just not quite going to be enough. As
So get your GGs in for chromataclysm.
yep, official race time 1:03:19, and MiRai immediately throwing in the towel. It's enough for him.
I reached him or asked them if they were up for interviews. Mirai said, "If I must."
Yep, and we've got Chroma in here as well. GG's.
Hey, not if you still have my game audio feed going, there might be interference. I'm not sure. Is it clear? Can you hear me?
We can hear you fine.
Okay, lovely. Okay, well, last location except for Death Mountain for that raft.
Yeah, well, that was actually key. You avoided Death Mountain and Mirai didn't, and I think ultimately that was the time difference.
I'm sorry, that was the worst possible time to take a bite of an apple, but I just did.
Yeah, so let me bring Mirai in and I'll talk about it some more.
Okay, sounds good.
GG, Mirai.
No, GG Chroma.
Yeah, Chroma in here just before us with the GGs. Yeah, couple big differences. The first one that came up,
the raft.
Yes, but not in the way you expect. So when Mirai, early on, you both sort of did things very similarly, but Chroma found Nukasuto early, and Mirai just didn't go far enough east and missed
Amazing.
it. And that put Chroma. That gave Chroma Reflect earlier. That put Chroma into some of the palaces earlier. And he had a pretty decent lead. But you went you were a little bit ahead exploring the eastern end of the West. And you eventually ended up doing Death Mountain. Chroma did not. And that made a big difference. But
Surprising.
We knew it was definitively down to P5 or P1. And you were both in there at the same time digging for a raft. Ultimately, you found it earlier, Mirai, with the correct guess, and Chroma spent quite a bit of time digging around P5. But unfortunately, having not found Nukasuto and being a couple palaces behind at that point, Chroma was into GP before you, and unfortunately, GP did not exist today.
Well, I think GP did exist, but I made the choice to take that first left.
Who goes left in GP?
I do when I feel like I'm behind.
Yeah, Chroma took that first left, and then a couple rooms later was Thunderbird, and then a couple rooms after that was Darklink, and just about a 3-minute GP ended up being. So Ryan not actually that far behind in terms of potentially entering GP time, but unfortunately just spending a lot of time in that P5. Unfortunately, that P5 sucked.
Yeah, Attack 4 also sucked. Attack 4 still took 2 hits to kill Palace bots.
It was so bad, and Attack 5 was good.
I got a question for Mirai.
No questions.
When did you... I'm giving them anyway. When did you notice the Mago drippers?
I didn't. It was too late. I was
Me
just
too.
everywhere.
Like, it wasn't until I didn't need them anymore that I noticed.
Yeah, I did 3 and then 6, which I screwed around in for a little bit. What Fairy was just not... There's too many doors, and I couldn't get through things, and Attack 3 at the time absolutely sucked, and I game overed in there, and I was just like, I gotta get out of here. Maybe the magic key is over on the other side of the west here, and it was. And then, so I did 6 after that, and then I screwed around in Death Mountain for a little while, and then I came back to do the East. I did P1. I probably saw some drippers in P1, but I didn't see what they were dripping, so that would have been my first 1-2-5 discovery there. And P2 was done in 2 seconds, so there's no chance to see anything in P2 other than just a boss. Unless you went left.
Which I would have done if I ran into it earlier in the seed, but yeah, a lot of item hunting in those in those early palaces.
I
I mean,
just
in all of them.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I felt I was so far behind after not finding Nukusudo. I'm just like, man, am I just gonna need is the raft in DM or something? And I felt so dumb checking Spell Tower because I had the cross hint for the east, and I was like, this is gonna be the cross, dude. Don't even go in this tower. After I raised it up, I'm like, don't even go in the tower. And of course, it was the cross. I just backed out of there when I saw it.
Yeah. I did take a special Nukusudo trip just for the tower and got to find that as well.
I can't believe I didn't see Nukusudo over there. I got done with the east, and I'm like, where is there any space on this continent for a Nukusudo? I'm like, is this a segmented east with just a cutout for Nukusudo somewhere? And that was in my mind because Raft hadn't seen anything but the cave. So Raft, other cave, and bridge are all mysteries at this point. And it's like, well, and I even after getting the boots, I went to the top side of the west side of the west and just finished that up there, and then saw that Mita wasn't in fact reflect, and I was like, okay, it's Nukusudo, so let me just walk back to the east. Did I miss a cave somewhere that would have taken me to a little pocket? And I'm like, I don't see anything, so let's just pretend that it's attached to a segmented east here. And I just moved on with that information, and it was incorrect. Amazing that I just didn't walk one tile far enough to see that.
It's not surprising, though. I almost didn't do it. There was just that last second kind of, are you sure you've looked? Just that kind of thought. Did you run into desert tile?
I did. That was one of the first things I found there.
Wow.
Yeah, that was. I felt that this.
That was Boots? Hammer?
That was Boots.
That was Boots, yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah, and that because Hammer was one of the caves and Boots were on the desert tile there. And I was like, okay, that opens up the west. And I'm thinking, you could have missed this desert tile, so maybe, just maybe, I have this in my pocket or on my feet, so to speak.
I definitely missed it on my first trip to the east. I did find Nukusudo on the first trip, though.
Not an equal exchange of... Because with the boots and
Probably
the hammer,
not.
you opened up the rest of the seed, and
That's
without
right.
the boots, you were forced back to the east. So
That's right. And I was, and then found it. I'm actually really surprised that neither of us went into Palace 1 and found that raft.
yeah,
Just as that normal progression through. I obeyed out of the east 2 different times. When I was feeling like, are you sure you're done here?
yeah. I saw the 2 palaces in the open. I knew we weren't going to need a flute. I'm like, all right, well, 5's right next to GP. We'll just route 5 in second to last. Let's hope there's nothing important in here. And I just said to hell with whatever's in Death Valley right now. We'll do that later. Because again, with the cheaper ferry, which I didn't get a cheaper ferry. It was still 41 up through Magic 5. I don't know if it ever came down at Magic 6. I was burning gems at that point. But yeah, I felt I was just going to go into Death Valley and out of Death Valley and then into 5 and then to GP. That was probably going to be my route, but couldn't even do that because you were forced to go into Death Valley ahead of time to get the raft so you could do Maze Island. So, yeah. Felt like 4 was super fast for me. You had multiple choices and a drop before that multi-level elevator. So I don't know.
I struggled.
Oh, yeah, I God routed 4, absolutely God routed 4, and 2 was just go right, and Helmet Head's right there. And, I was in 5, but man, 5 was a bunch of trash in terms of its layout, and I almost last location to Goma. There was one left remaining on a multi-level elevator that I didn't take. It was all the way down and right, and then just follow that to an elevator up, and that was Goma, and that's the fight I was on.
My issue there, I actually found Guma quickly, but was in that stage where I needed to be finding items, so backtracked away from Guma and found every other passage before up-Aing and realizing the item was right at the start.
Yeah.
So, yay. I don't know, it sounds like this, if GP had a little more to speak of, that there might have been some more stuff going on in there. Because, I mean, we both ended up full clearing, basically. But that At Death Mountain, I went in. I don't know if you. I'm sure you did. Like at the very top left, when you first go in there, there was that cave that was really looking like something and was nothing.
It's just a messed up 4-way.
Yeah.
And I got the rock. The rock was the trophy, and Hammer Cave was the flute. So
I'm sorry
Awesome.
for the messed up 4-way. It's fixed in 4.3. I fixed it already. But it's not out yet.
well, you don't. Have to, that's actually previous issue carried over from a 4.0 issue. So
That's an old issue, but
It
it
was
is
also-
fixed in 4.3.
It was also the thing that made me quit on Death Mountain.
Mm.
Oh, well, if that thing that looks like something isn't anything, I'm not going to bother with this unless I absolutely have to.
I actually thought it was a caldera at first, and then when I saw the water on the other side, I'm like, oh, this is a mountainous, dude. This whatchamacallit, Hammer Cave could just be like anywhere, man. But it was actually pretty obvious if you just walk to the East Coast, which is 2 caves over, at the top of the eastern seaboard there, it was Hammer Cave. Faring through as much as I could because you can't kill anything with attack 4.
Oof.
Yeah, how long did it take you to get attack 5?
I prioritized it a little bit, but I definitely did put a lot into magic early on. I can't remember when that did come in, but I feel like it was, more than half the seed.
I got it in P1, I think, before I went into P5. I wanted to make sure I had it before going into a Guma fight.
Yeah, I think there were 2 different gems where I canceled out to carry over and just keep working, like just walk through and try to get the attack level up.
All right, well, let's hope we're done. Let's hope we're done burning this trash fire, this trash pile.
Yeah.
Let's hope this is out by the time our next race comes up sometime later this week, I assume. And I'm sure we
Clean
can,
your seeds.
we can discuss this. Well, I mean, it was clean until Death Mountain. Death Mountain dirtied it up. Had I just stayed on track and doing normal person stuff and stayed far away from Death Mountain as usual, I thought I could play some 4D chess or 200 IQ play here. But it was absolutely nothing, as it usually is. So, yeah. GG. Thank God it's a best of 5.
Is it best of 5?
It's a best of 7
Yep.
now.
Best of 5?
Best of 5.
Okay, then we're definitely racing again this week.
What, you didn't want to drag
carry
it out
this
for
over?
months?
We'll do it
Gotta
back
finish
to
before my
back, and you
kids
can
get in
sweep
town.
it. Hey, in
I'm
my prediction,
definitely
you
willing
win.
to do 2 in a row.
Yeah, in my prediction, you win. So this is actually all on script at the moment. So we'll just keep. Well, I'm acting like I'm upset with this seed, but in reality, I get the.
You got
payout.
money on this.
Exactly. There's sponsorships. There's deep pockets. There's financial investors. There's you got to win this chroma. So.
All right, well let's work that out and then keep it going.
All right.
Thank you,
All right. Oh,
Jurasi and Alendar, VX.
yeah. Make sure to give our runners a follow as well. That is going to be it for us tonight. Nothing on the schedule for tomorrow. The Nibiru Invitational Finals Game 4 is on Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. See if the Goblin can win that series or if Valence can force a Game 5. And I'm sure, as the runner said, they'll be scheduling Game 2 at some point, probably this week. So keep an eye on the schedule for that. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you later.